I like what you say about taking the mask off. I think that's certainly something we did at school. Immediately you put the mask on, that collective mask of, okay, no emotion. Okay, got to look as if I'm successful or I know what I'm doing. And actually, if we can take it down and just go, yeah, this is me. Because we're almost forced into being something that we're not.
Like in boarding school, I'm just curious, like, okay, were there spaces where people could be vulnerable or in the modern version, is there more of that? Or is it kind of
Mm.
always performance all the time?
No, it's performance. I
Yeah.
mean, if you cried, usually you were laughed at. I mean, the first time I cried was probably 3 weeks after I'd been there, and it was an open dormitory, 30 boys in my dormitory. Came in just into, I had a cubicle but no door, and they came in shouting, "Ah, you're weak, you're pathetic, you're not so tough now, Cross." And that was my experience. I remember sat crying at my desk going, this will never happen again. And I learned to dissociate. Now, have they changed? They've changed in that, you know, the teachers now, it might sound strange, but the problem in the past was the teachers didn't have any DBS, which we call is kind of police checks. So
Mhm.
there were quite a lot of paedophiles. Now that's a lot more secure. So they have changed. But what I'm hearing from schools now is that they are still really competitive and they do 80, 90-hour weeks. So the kids are just burning out. There is no space. Emotion isn't really given space for. They have these therapists, but it's seen as weakness to go and see a therapist.
Okay. Yeah.
And you don't want to be weak. Yeah, they've definitely changed, but you know, for me, leadership's all about emotional intelligence. And I'm talking about this a lot in my podcast at the moment. These schools teach IQ. And as Daniel Goleman points out, it's just 20% IQ of our life successes. Well, the other 80% is EQ. And therefore, I personally don't want a leader in charge who's only at 20% capability. I want, someone who's really emotionally intelligent. And these schools don't offer that,
Mhm.
because they break the attachment with parents, and therefore that's relationships aren't important.